Hello and welcome. I am joining you um, virtually today because I tested positive for COVID, and I'm recording this talk on Friday. I tested positive Monday, and today is the first day that I am feeling decent, and I think I'm ready to return to join the living. So, welcome, and I am sad that I cannot be there with you in person. This being the very first Sunday of our brand new church year. And I am also infinitely grateful that I still can be with you because we have this possibility because of the mighty interwebs and because of technology that even though a terrible virus is standing between us, we can still share space with each other in some shape or form. So I am infinitely grateful for that possibility. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I welcome everyone here in person at the church. And I also welcome everyone online who is joining us today. If you are joining in on the online just now, I'm Reverend G, minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Community Church. And this is our first Sunday back after our 1 month off in July. We're just delighted to be back. A few days ago, not that many days ago, just recently, quite recently, a friend of mine from Iowa sent me a little YouTube link on Messenger. And then she said that this is very frightening. I clicked on the link, and it was Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, giving a speech at CPAC in Texas. And of course, I know why she sent it to me. She sent it to me because I am Hungarian, and so is Orban, and because she probably wanted some reassurance that her camp is large, and then I'm part of it, which of course I am. I find Orban's speech, and in case you also watched it, you're already frightened. And it is pure fascist Nazi rhetoric. Never mind that he gave it in Texas in front of Republicans who cheered him on. They cheered him on when he said that he is the first one in Europe who had opposed illegal immigration, meaning when all the Arabs came from war-torn Libya to Europe, Orban was the first one to actually build a wall that held them out. He separated the children from the parents. I'm sure you recognize that technique or tactics. Trump then just copied him. He also said that because he's a Christian, he cannot be a racist. He said that he opposes Europe and in particular his own country, Hungary, to become a mixed race country. He said that marriage is between a woman and a man. End of sentence, period. Leave our children all alone. Frightening, indeed very frightening. So she sent me this video and I watched it, and I too was frightened and I was very disheartened. And his rhetoric came washed up on the shores of our country. I am concerned about that. I am concerned that it will further flame this ugly racism that is still very much part of our present, every bit as much as it is part of our history. And remember, Viola Davis said, the history is not the past, history is the present. It shapes us, it's made us, it shapes our thinking, it shapes our feelings. Racism is very much part of our today's life. So I am concerned that they brought him in to even further normalize this fascist Nazi rhetoric. The vision of our church is to positively transform ourselves for the betterment of the entire universe, of our world. And that is our overarching mission for our church. And the theme for our new church year, which we are just beginning today, as a Sunday. I am recording this Friday, but let's pretend it's Sunday. So the theme, the overarching theme for our church year is to implement this 8th principle that our church has voted on. And in particular is to accountably dismantle racism and other forms of oppression. Accountably dismantle racism. So this is the journey that we are embarking on. And if you read my article, you know that I am intimidated, quite intimidated by this, because I have never dismantled racism. In fact, the moment I started to think about it, I realized that, oh, wow, wait, I actually am also a racist. I have some thoughts, I have some behaviors that unfortunately are racist. And every now and then I say something and Patty, my wife, says, gee, that was racist. And then I want to say, no, I'm not racist. But then I think about it and I think, yeah, I guess that was racist. And I feel shame. I immediately go to shame. I don't know about you, but I immediately go to shame. So I feel intimidated for 2 reasons. One is because it's work I have never led. I have never been the leader of such a work. I've done a lot of self-work. I've done much work with communities on exploring self, on communication, on investigating thoughts, on I've been involved with strategic planning and then how to implement strategic plans. But I've never dismantled racism. I've never done a lot of healing. I attended an erase course once, but that's about all I've done. I also held the naive belief that because I grew up in Europe where we didn't have black people, therefore I couldn't have developed any racist thoughts because, well, we didn't have the blacks among us. Well, we had gypsies whom we treated badly, thought of badly, and it was easy for me to just bring that thinking over here to this new world for me, to the United States. So I am intimidated because of that. The other reason is I'm intimidated is because, like I said before, I go to shame. When I realize that there's things about me that are racist, I feel horrible about myself. Like, I don't want to be a racist. I want to be a non-racist, an anti-racist. I don't want to be part of the problem. I would like to be the solution for this problem. And here I am being the part, and I'm ashamed of it. And that leads nowhere, because then I just want to cover it up instead of squaring it away. So here's my point. Um, I think that for a community like ours, Unitarian Universalist, we are known for being a liberal community. We are known for embracing minorities. We are known for fighting for social justice, like any cause that we can think of. There were UUs who have stood in the front lines, many times gave their lives to that cause or for that cause. So we are people who usually tend to stand on the right side of history. So, therefore, when we are called to work on ourselves and square away our own racism, we might be as a community like I am. Like, I'm not bad. I'm not racist. You're just preaching to the choir. Why don't we focus on some issues that we actually have to work on? Because we got this. We're not racist people. So here's my point. If you squared your racism away 90%, 95%, 98%, but there's that 2% left, or even just 1% left that is not squared away. That's where 100% of hell is. That's where 100% of the problem is. So then, think about it. If a black person walks into our community, or another person from a historically oppressed community, and we act out of that 1%, the 1% that we haven't squared away, and this person has walked into our community thinking, oh, this is a safe place for me. UU is known for being a safe place. I come here, I can be truly honestly myself. Here, I won't be injured and re-injured because these people care. And then we act out of that 1% that we haven't squared away. Imagine how much damage we can do to somebody just innocently trusting. And the thing is that we're innocent too. This story comes to mind about Solzhenitsyn, who was a Russian writer, and he said in a letter. He said some things about Stalin that were not so good, and of course the letter got read, and he got picked up by the Secret Service and was taken to a work camp in, I believe it was in the gulags. And so he's marching to this work camp, and he's looking at the guard, and he's looking at him, and he's evaluating him, and he's thinking, how can he do this to me? What kind of person is this guard to be doing this to me, marching me to possibly my death, because I just said something that I don't agree, that I don't like about their leader. And as he's thinking, he remembers that, wait a minute, there was a time in my life when I wanted to enter the Secret Service. If I had done that today, I would be taking another Solzhenitsyn to the gulags. And then they'd be looking at me wondering what kind of person I am, what kind of evil person I am to be taking them to this camp. So this is what he said. If only it were so simple. If only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. The line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. So I would like to caution us against calling ourselves, good or bad. People who are not like us, good or bad. Because the moment we separate each other into good and bad, we are at war. The bad has to be eliminated, the good must win. But bottom line is, we're all just a thought away from being good and from being bad. And both of them live in us. And either one can surface at any time. So instead, we should extend grace to ourselves when the shadow surfaces, and grace to others when shadow surfaces, and keep working at it. Keep working on it. I really love what social activist Dr. Pauli Murray said in 1947, I think. She said, "When my brothers try to draw a circle to exclude me, I shall draw a large circle to include them. Where they speak out for the privilege of a puny group, I shall shout for the rights of all mankind. When they draw a circle to exclude me, I shall draw a circle even bigger to include all of them." That's what's needed. Our world needs to be healed. And we must stop thinking in terms of good and bad, evil and good, and instead just see our humanity. See each other's humanity. Because tribal thinking isn't going to lead us anywhere. Tribal thinking is the law of the jungle. There is a Bedouin saying that says, "I against my brother. I and my brother against my cousins. I and my brother and my cousins against the world." Now that's the law of the jungle. And we're very capable of tribal thinking. In fact, when we're frightened, we tend to go to tribal thinking. And that shall never be part of the solution anymore. We need to draw an always larger, bigger circle to include more of us. And how can we be part of that solution? And that is the journey that we are going to embark on this year. So our initial goal is to accountably dismantle racism, to put in the work on self, and square away every bit of racism that is in us. Every bit. And initially, I thought of it as work. But I would like to up the ante. I would like to invite us not to think of it as work. Instead, think of it as an offering. This is our offering that we bring to the world. Our offering, it's our love offering to work on our own selves, to positively transform ourselves, to keep squaring away, to keep bringing that shadow into the light, or the light onto the shadow. So our entire world can be just better, 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 and better. So we can draw larger and larger circles. So I hope that we can find the enthusiasm and the love in our heart to engage into this offering of healing. Because everywhere where we give home to racist thoughts and feelings, we're also hurting. Heal ourselves, and then heal those who have been historically oppressed, mistreated, disfavored, put down, and just be part of the solution. So this is my invitation to all of us to join into creating this offering together as a community to accountably dismantle racism in ourselves and in the world and other forms of oppression. Thank you, and so it is.